Look at almost anything you own, and it's measured in inches, feet, and pounds. You live in one of the only 3 countries that never officially went metric. Everyone else measures the world in meters and grams. So why didn't America? The answer involves a revolution, a shipwreck, and actual pirates. This is the story of the measurement that almost was. It starts in France, in the middle of its revolution. Back then, measurements were a chaos of local units that changed from town to town. Revolutionary France wanted one system, built on reason instead of kings. So scientists defined a brand new unit, the meter, from the planet itself. 1 meter would be 1/10,000,000th of the distance from the North Pole to the equator. Surveyors spent years measuring a slice of that line through Paris. From it they cast a metal bar and a metal weight, the meter and the kilogram. For the first time, the whole world could share one honest ruler. And France wanted to give that ruler to a young, rational new republic, America. In 1793, France sent a scientist named Joseph Dombey across the Atlantic. He carried a standard meter and a standard weight, meant as gifts for Thomas Jefferson. Jefferson, then Secretary of State, loved the metric idea. A copy of the meter in American hands might have changed everything. But a storm blew Dombey's ship far off course into the Caribbean. There, British privateers, pirates working for the crown, captured him. Dombey disguised himself as a sailor, but the pirates saw right through it. They imprisoned him on the island of Montserrat. And before any ransom could be paid, Joseph Dombey died in captivity. His cargo, including America's meter, was auctioned off with the rest of the loot. The standards eventually reached Washington, but the moment had already passed. Without a physical meter to rally around, America's metric dream quietly stalled. But the idea never fully died. America kept almost switching. In 1866, Congress made it legal to use the metric system everywhere in the country. It was allowed, just never required. In 1875, the United States helped found the International Metric Treaty itself. America literally helped run the metric system it refused to adopt. In fact, the American inch is officially defined as exactly 2.54 centimeters. Every inch you use is secretly measured in metric already. The biggest push came in 1975. President Gerald Ford signed the Metric Conversion Act. It created a metric board to guide America onto meters and liters. Highway departments even started posting distances in kilometers. But there was one fatal word buried in the law: voluntary. Nobody was required to change, so almost nobody did. Drivers hated the new signs, and businesses saw only cost. In 1982, Ronald Reagan disbanded the metric board entirely. And America's last serious attempt to go metric was over. So why couldn't the world's biggest economy just switch? Because by then, the entire country was already built in inches and pounds. Every factory, every wrench, every blueprint was sized to the old units. Retooling all of it would cost billions, with no obvious payoff. And a whole generation could already feel what a mile or a pound meant. You don't just change a country's measurements, you change its intuition. So the cheapest option was always to simply do nothing. But sticking with 2 systems has its own price. In 1999, NASA lost a spacecraft on its way to Mars. One team worked in metric, another used pounds, and nobody converted between them. That silent mismatch sent a $125 million orbiter burning into the atmosphere. And here's the twist: America already runs on metric where it matters. Your medicine, your science, your 2-liter soda, all metric. The military, the Olympics, and every microchip use it too. You're quietly bilingual in measurement and barely notice. So the US didn't really reject the metric system. It just never finished the switch it started 2 centuries ago. A gift lost to pirates, a law with no teeth, and the sheer weight of habit. Held one of the world's biggest countries on its own private ruler. So next time you measure something in inches, remember, it was almost meters.